Maybe it's because tonight is Oscar night, and I'm in the thoughts of all the famous movies I've seen over the years, or my favorites that I have no problem watching over and over again, whether that be Casablanca, Star Wars, The Fellowship of the Ring, even Twilight, or even any number of the Harry Potter ones. I never get tired of watching them over and over again. They draw me in because of the story and because of the characters. I think the same is true with some of the parables of Jesus. They draw us in because of the story and the characters. Even sometimes when we hear of this story, the parable of the prodigal son, we go maybe into our own worldview of it because we hear, a man had 2 sons, and then you kind of go into your memory of when you've heard it before. And many times we hear it at penance services or moments of reconciliation like that. But it's situated today on this 4th Sunday of Lent because today is Laetare Sunday. It's halfway through this Lenten season, and it's a break, so to speak, to tell us it's a day not of fasting, but of feasting, that we should rejoice. Because what do we hear in the story today? Well, basically, in tune with the story of this prodigal son, what did he do after he left home and was found hungry and thirsty and far from home? He said, much like Dorothy, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home." And what did he do? He went home. He wasn't given ruby slippers, but he was given sandals, he was given a ring, he was given a robe, a garment. He was instituted in the Father's house, where he should be, with a father who loved him and wanted him back and welcomed him back totally, with no punishment. And the story for me of the prodigal son is about the generous father. This parable is also the story of the generosity of God. The generous father here runs out to meet his son. He welcomes him, doesn't chastise him, but lifts him up and welcomes him with love. That's the image of God that we should have. God always welcomes us back with love. So we should feel whenever we come into the church, the shrine especially, I'm home. I feel at home. I'm at peace here. I've been lost this week, but today I can be found. But it's also another story of that poor sad brother who resents the gift of his father's generosity. But what does the father do? He also goes out to his son. He too goes out to meet him, to talk to him, to maybe knock some sense into him, but to say, you're always with me. Everything I have is yours. And that brother doesn't seem to get it. He's still resentful. To me, it harkens back to Genesis, Cain and Abel, that one's jealous of another, one's resentful of another. Resentment is a terrible thing because it's a roadblock. It hinders us from truly seeing what we have. And that brother was blinded to all that he was blinded to that he was with the Father. He was in the Father's house already. You know, it's almost as if we'll wake up one day and we'll find ourselves on a cloud in heaven. And we might look around to see who our neighbor is. And there on the cloud next to us, we're in heaven. We're at peace. And there on the cloud next to us is that particular senator that you curse at every night during the news. And you say, ugh, I'm sharing heaven with him or her. You can't bring those resentments to heaven, but they're part and parcel of the human condition. We have to be generous of spirit like the generous God who loves us. For me, this is a parable of the generosity of God. And I thought of it this week as I heard one of the songs on the Christian radio program I listen to often. Prodigals come home. The helpless find hope. Love is on the move. When the Father's in the room, prison doors fling wide. The dead come to life. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Miracles take place. The cynical find faith, and love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Lay your burdens down here in the Father's house. Check your shame at the door, 'cause shame isn't welcome anymore. You're in the house at Father's house. We are in the Father's house. Let us accept the generous love of God, who loves us more than we can ever know.